Before we begin this meditative story, you may wish to find a comfortable position and gently allow your eyes to close. You're invited to let your imagination guide you, allowing the story to unfold like a quiet movie in your mind. Simply listen and allow the story to gently reach the deeper, quieter parts of you where it can unfold in its own way. Let's begin now. The Ogre and the Cloak of Compassion. Deep within a vast, ancient forest, where the trees stood tall and still, and the seasons moved in quiet, unhurried harmony, there lived an ogre. He lived alone, in a crooked wooden hut, half covered in moss, its walls darkened by years of rain and shadow. The wood creaked softly as the air shifted, and the scent of damp bark and earth lingered. Thick, heavy, as though it never quite cleared. The forest was alive, breathing, listening. Leaves whispered high above, brushing gently against one another in the breeze. Birds called across the canopy, their songs rising and falling like distant echoes. A stream flowed steadily over smooth stones, its quiet rhythm weaving through the air. But near the ogre's home, the air felt different. Thinner, yet heavier at the same time, as if something unseen lingered within it. A faint, sticky haze that dulled the light. Birds rarely sang there. Small animals kept their distance, moving quietly along the outer edges. Even the breeze seemed to lose its playfulness. The ogre did not like noise. Sharp sounds made something tighten inside him. A sudden clenching deep in his chest. It stirred something he could not understand. A pressure, a heat, a restless discomfort that rose too quickly. It made him shout at everything, or slam his heavy foot into the ground, or wave his arms wildly until the sounds disappeared. And when they did, he felt relief. Brief, fragile, temporary. He did not like things being out of place. If the wind scattered leaves unevenly across his doorway, he would gather them again and again until the ground looked just right. Not because it mattered, but because something inside him would not settle until it did. If the air felt too cold or too warm, he would pace outside his hut, his heavy footsteps pressing into the soil, grumbling, adjusting, searching, trying to find a version of the moment that didn't irritate him. If a scent lingered too strongly, mushrooms, damp moss, even wildflowers, he would tear at the earth, pulling, ripping, scattering them aside, as though removing them would quiet what they stirred within him. He believed the world should match his preferences. That if things could just be arranged the right way, sound the right way, feel the right way, then he would finally be at ease. but he never paused long enough to wonder where those preferences came from. He never considered that his sensitivity was pointing to something deeper, something raw, something vulnerable, something he had learned long ago to avoid. So he stayed busy, adjusting, correcting, controlling, reaching outward, trying to calm something inside that felt like it might erupt if left untouched. And yet, what brought him relief one day would disturb him the next. What once felt right would suddenly feel unbearable. And so the searching continued. Restless, unpredictable, never quite landing. Every single day, something disturbed him. The rain, a cracking branch, the distant laughter of children. His reactions came instantly, before thought, before understanding. Even he didn't know why. He was convinced the world was the problem. Too loud, too unpredictable, too uncomfortable. And he spent his days trying to control it so that inside he could finally feel at ease. But underneath it all, that quiet unease remained. A restlessness he could never quite settle. Even when everything appeared just as he preferred, something still stirred beneath the surface. A tension, pressure he could not name. So he searched for more things to fix, more ways to feel better, more conditions that needed to be met. And still, it was never enough. The ogre's moods and tantrums were only the surface of something far deeper. A dark, aching place where he felt miserable, lonely, and deeply confused, yet could not bring himself to face. As though something inside him was missing, and he had no idea how to find it. Not far from the forest, there was a village. And in that village lived children with bright eyes, warm laughter, and hearts that had not yet learned to close. They wandered into the forest often, their feet brushing softly over the grass, their fingers stained with berry juice, their baskets filling with the earthy scent of mushrooms. But they knew about the ogre. So when they came near his home, their laughter softened, their voices lowered. Still, sometimes a ball would roll too far, or curiosity would carry them deeper than intended. And sometimes they would meet him. The ogre would roar, deep, sudden, vibrating through the ground. The children would freeze, breath caught, hearts racing, then run. And as they ran, many of them wondered quietly, what did we do wrong? Their hearts still open, still soft, searched for a way to make things better. One little boy whispered, "Maybe he's hungry. We could leave some sweets for him. Maybe that would calm him down." The others nodded gently. It made sense to them. When someone hurts, you help. So, with simple kindness and the quiet hope of being received, they began leaving him small gifts from a distance. Sweets, honeyed bread, sugared berries wrapped gently in leaves. The first time he tasted them, warmth spread through him instantly. His body softened, his breath slowed. For a moment, he felt fantastic. And immediately, he wanted more. But when the sweets did not appear, his discomfort returned, stronger than before, sharper, more demanding, more restless. What had been briefly soothed had not been released. Frightened, the children stopped. They avoided the forest. And still, his cries echoed all the way to the village. One evening, as the light softened into gold and the air cooled, the children were playing, their laughter light and free, feet running through the grass, a ball passing from hand to hand, and then something shifted. A soft glow appeared between two trees. Subtle at first, like light dancing on water. One by one, they noticed. The game slowed, voices quieted. Drawn by something they could not explain, they stepped closer. The glow shimmered gently, steadily, and from that light, a tiny fairy emerged. She looked at the children with deep, steady kindness. "You have been trying to help him," she said softly. The children nodded. "But what he feels does not come from the forest." With a small movement of her hand, the air shimmered and opened, and they saw the ogre, not as he appeared, but within. His heart, covered in thick, dark layers, heavy, dense, like black tar. "This," the fairy said gently, "is pain that was never allowed to move or to be felt." The image shifted. A tiny ogre, alone, crying, unheld. "He learned to push away anything that stirred this feeling," she said. "To arrange the world so he would not have to feel." Then the image changed again. A vast field of light flowing around him, radiant, alive. "That is who he truly is," she whispered. "But he believes he is only what he feels inside." "How can we help him?" little Anna asked. "You can send him love," the fairy said. "But only he can release what he holds." "He scares me," Anna admitted quietly. "He's so unpredictable." "If you are ever near him," the fairy said gently, "wear your cloak of compassion." It will protect you." "I hope I never see him again," said a boy. "Me too," whispered his sister. From that day on, something began to change. The children still felt fear. They kept their distance. All except Anna. Somehow, Anna no longer judged him when he shouted. Not when he slammed the ground. She could feel his storms, the sharpness in the air, the sudden waves of heat and tension. And in those moments, she remembered. That tiny ogre, alone, trembling, unseen. And something in her heart softened even more. Quietly, bravely, she began to return to her special tree overlooking his hut. She climbed it slowly, feeling the bark beneath her hands, placing her feet with care until she reached her place among the leaves. There she sat, still, unseen. The branch held her, steady, firm beneath her weight. The breeze moved gently through the leaves, brushing across her skin. Soft, alive. Below, the distant stream whispered, a quiet, steady rhythm, like the earth breathing. And slowly her own breath began to follow, softening, settling into her belly. She remembered her cloak of compassion. She drew in the open sky, wide, spacious, filling her from within. Then another breath, this time from below. She felt the earth beneath her, deep, steady, ancient. As she inhaled, that quiet strength rose through her, and something awakened within her chest. A warmth, subtle at first, then growing, spreading through her, alive, electric, gently buzzing, like a soft field of light radiating outward in all directions. As she exhaled, that living current gathered, focused, and streamed outward, clear, direct, unwavering, like a beam of light extending from her heart, reaching him, finding him. And as it touched him, she felt it. A connection, as if their hearts were gently attuned to each other. Subtle but real. As if something within him had opened, just enough to receive. Her breath deepened, and with each exhale, the current continued. Steady, unwavering. She did not try to change him. She did not try to calm him. She simply remained. Open, steady, present. And though he did not see her, something deep within him began to soften. One morning, after a restless night, something rose inside him. Not anger, something deeper. He sat outside his hut, the earth cool beneath him, the forest quiet. And for the first time, he didn't push it away. He didn't reach for something to fix it. He stayed. The feeling swelled, heavy, tight, pressing against his chest. His breath caught and then slowly softened. And then a tear formed. Slowly, it slipped down his cheek, warm, and fell into the soil. For a moment, nothing happened. And then the earth responded. From that place, a small green stem emerged, unfolding until a deep red rose bloomed. Soft, velvety, alive. The ogre stared, still, as a gentle fragrance rose into the air. Warm, familiar, like something long forgotten. He leaned closer, and as he breathed it in, something inside him opened. Another tear fell, and then another. Each one touching the earth, each one giving rise to another rose, until the ground around him bloomed, red, soft, alive. And this time, he did not resist. He lowered himself to the earth and let it hold him as he cried. Something ancient was finally releasing. Morning came softly. Light filtered through the trees, golden, warm. The air felt different, clearer, lighter. Anna climbed her tree once more, settled into her place, closed her eyes, and then she heard it. A door opening slowly. She opened her eyes. The ogre stepped outside. Something about him had changed. His movements were slower, as though he were listening from within. He walked forward carefully, looked up the tree, and saw her. He paused. In his hands, a beautiful bouquet of roses. Deep red, soft, open. A slow breath moved through him as he gently extended the bouquet to Anna. No words. She climbed down slowly, her feet meeting the earth. She stepped toward him and received the roses with a gentle smile. Her fingers brushed lightly against his. The fragrance rose between them, warm, open, alive. The ogre looked at her, and in his eyes there was something new. Not tension, not defense, but space, softness, something that no longer needed to be protected. No words had passed between them. none were needed. Anna's quiet, steady compassion had somehow reached the places he had long kept closed. And deep within him, what had always been there, beneath the guarding, beneath the ache, was finally free to bloom. All it took was a single, quiet act of kindness, meeting what had long been hidden with love. And in that moment, something greater revealed itself. That even the most guarded heart can open. That what has been held in darkness can return to light. One child's unconditional love was enough to heal and transform a life. And that same love breathes within us all. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes.